What's going on, everyone? My name is Nick Metcalf, and today I'm joined by Mackenzie on this Wednesday, February 4th edition of the American Power Hour. She's got her gingerbread man over there. We did a couple reviews. We did a couple food reviews here today. We'll get into it. We got a lot to talk about today. Very exciting show. We have quite a few pieces of news that we're going to cover. Let me take a look and see what we have on the schedule here. Go to my bookmarks. We'll be talking about Billie Eilish had quite the quote during the, Emmys on Sunday? Grammys, graham crackers, whatever the award show is, for music. So we'll be talking about Billie Eilish and the backlash that she's gotten from the Tongva tribe. We'll also be talking about the woman who was supposedly attacked by ICE officers when she was just on her way for an appointment for her traumatic brain injury. Her name was Rahman. And also Zoran Mamdani in New York City. Got a couple different clips here. There's protesters being paid. Anti-ICE protesters being paid. We have video of that. Told you guys that was happening like weeks ago, but we'll get into it. We have the clips. We have the videos. Democrats in office are trying to block. They're trying to block the voter ID law where the people of America, they want voter IDs. They want it to make it so that you need an ID to vote for the President of the United States of America. It makes sense. It's common sense. And it turns out over 80% of all Americans want this. So why would Democrats be against this? We'll get into that. So like I said, we have a pretty exciting show today. We'll get into the Marcos. I went to Marcos today. Me and Mackenzie went to Marcos. And then also we did another food review in the area as well. What's up, Shane Cool Jeans? Shane Cool Jeans 98. How you doing today? How do I like the snow? It's normal. It is. It feels like normalcy for me. Christy. What's up, Christy? How you doing today? Didn't get notified for Friday's live. Oh, it's all good. Hey, it's all good. I don't know why that happened. I don't know if that was something on my end or what's up, Badia Maroof. How you doing today? Watching from Africa. Hey, shout out to Africa. How you guys doing down in Africa? What is new in Africa? What's something incredible that has happened in the past month or two in Africa? I need to do a little bit of a brushing up on Africa. This is the American Power Hour, but very interested in Africa. So we'll dive into the news here. Well, let's talk about the food thing first, right? We'll talk about the food thing first. Can you guys see her back there? You guys see homegirl back there? You guys can see her. She got up. She's up for it. Christy said, I checked around 1, didn't see you live, then got busy. Yeah, no, I went live late. It's my bad. Excuse me, it's my bad. I went live late. It was like 3 o'clock or something. I was like, I'm just gonna go live. How was Meg's birthday? It was fun. It was chill. I got a couple tickets for the Charlotte Hornets game, but the weather was pretty shitty. So we were like, hey, we can either stay home or do whatever. And she wanted to just hang out and be chill, and we ordered some food, and it was a good, nice, chill birthday. Got her some flowers and some stuff, she got like an espresso machine. So I got her some Starbucks espresso. Nothing like a chill birthday, said Christy. Yeah, it was nice. It was peaceful. We ordered sushi and like udon noodles. I don't even like coffee. I know. But she does. So let's get into this Marco's. I did a review today, an in-vehicle review, which I normally don't do for chains. But today I was like, you know what? I'll talk about it on American Power Hour. This was the Ghirardelli chocolate brownie from Marco's. Pretty good. Pretty good. Kind of enjoyed it. Wow, look at this. Look at this pizza girl. You guys can see her, right? No? There she is. There's the pizza girl. She's waiting. The brownie was pretty good. This review, I think, will be posted maybe tomorrow or Friday on the Food Review channel. Good God. These are the wings. These are the chicken wings from Marco's. They're a slime fest. They're an absolute and utter slime fest. Thank you to Christy, gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community. Hey, shout out to Christy. W's in the chat for Christy. Appreciate you, Christy. Those wings were misery. I would rather be tied up to the bed and had a plank in between my legs, in between my 2 ankles, just a wooden plank. And I'd rather have Kathy Bates just taking a wooden mallet and just smashing my ankles together than eat those wings again. Misery. Truly miserable. Wings were miserable, but the bread was great. The bread is amazing. Very dramatic, said Christy. Hey, listen, this right here, this is like their Devil's Butthole Inferno bread or something. There's ghost pepper cheese. There's jalapeno. And then I also got the spicy ranch to go with it as well. So, delightful, delicious. The bread was great at Marco's. And let's get into the pizza here. I got homegirl next to me. You see her little schnoz sneaking into frame. Let's see if you guys can see her on the Kenzie cam. Yeah, that's her backside. That's usually for her OF. Christy said, worse than Little Caesars. Those are like gummy wings. Same thing. Like literally, you squish into the wing. It's like when you bite into it, and then you like pull it. And there's always some like weird, like stretchy rubber band-esque thing that like snaps and like hits you in the head when you're trying to take a bite. It was, not good. I'd rather it's very similar like 7-Eleven or Little Caesars type of wings where it's like, man, I wish I didn't spend like the $7 on this. This right here though, this is the pizza. This was great. For chain pizza, I got let me show you my back end here. I got the thick crust, as you can see, thick crust. And the pepperoni I got are like the strips, little stripperoos. Check that out, huh? Let's get a piece for Mackenzie. Piece for Mackenzie girl. You got to go in Mackenzie's blanket. You go in Mackenzie's blanket. Mackenzie, you go in Mackenzie's blanket. Oh, good girl. You ready for this? You gonna be able to catch this? Ready? Whoa. She's not missing today. What's up, Allie Drex? How you doing today? How you doing today? Yeah, Mackenzie loved this pizza. She was not leaving me alone. Usually she just takes her little bite and goes and sits down. She was loving this. She was really loving this Marco's pizza. And so was I. If I'm being honest, like I don't know, I'm trying to think. Like just for regular pizza. Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Marco's, Hungry Howie's. Marco's is top tier for me. It's in that top echelon, the upper echelon of pizza chains for sure. Ellie Dreck said, "Have you ever done a review on QT? I looked back and haven't seen it in your gas station shops." Ooh, yeah, I'll have to do that. QT, quick time, right? There's definitely a few around here. Do they have good food there? Do they have good food? This was the second review that we did today. Mackenzie was really in the mood for birria tacos. Quick trip. Thank you. Quick trip. QT. I had creamed rice for the first time today. That's that creamed rice there. You could see it. In the back here, you also have some plantains. The plantains were good. The creamed rice was good. And the birria tacos were good too. Everything was really, really good from this place. Very surprising. Not surprising, but sometimes you go to a random Mexican place, you never know what you're going to get. Today we got some good food. So, pretty excited. Pretty excited about that. I also have steak in the fridge that I need to cook. I bought it a couple days ago. It was one of those Instacart orders. You know, it was a late night Instacart order. It was maybe like 10:30, 10 o'clock. No, not even. It was like 9:30 at night. Excuse me. I placed an order on Instacart, 9:30 at night. It turns out there's no driver, so it gets pushed to the next day. The next day, we got a foot of snow. Dude, we got a foot of snow here. Crazy. Absolutely nutso. So it got pushed to the day after that. And I didn't order sirloin steaks. I ordered T-bones. I ordered T-bone steaks, and I got sirloins. But that's what I get for ordering Instacart. You got 16 inches of snow. Wow. Is that in North Carolina as well? Yeah, here in North Carolina, we got, I think it was 12 or 13 inches of snow. I think it was just over a foot. Yep, said Allie Drex. You're more towards like the mountainous area, potentially. Let me bring up, Christy said, "I have an Instacart order being shopped right now." Well, hey, it's good. It's good in clutch sometimes. And then other times you get your order and you're like, why do I even have this app on my phone? You know, it was crazy. I ordered from a Food Lion. I ordered like, I think it was 25 item. It was a 25 item order. And I ended up getting like 10 items. And the other 15 items, like they didn't replace it with anything. They just refunded me. I'm like, dude, what is this? What is going on here? Kannapolis, said Allie Drex. Wow, 16 inches in Kannapolis. I'm not too far from Kannapolis. So yeah, maybe we got a little, maybe a 13, maybe 14 inches. Who knows? Let's get into a little bit of this news here. Christy said last week this guy tried substituting my Quest protein chips taco flavor with regular original Lay's. Yeah, that's some people just don't get it, you know, like don't get what you're trying to go for when you get the protein chips. That's kind of crazy. It's like when you order, like the one time I ordered a Diet Mountain Dew, just like a single bottle like this, and the person brought me a regular Mountain Dew. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I would have rather just had a bottle of water or something, or like a Diet Pepsi, you know. But they probably think, oh, regular version of it instead of the low calorie. He could have just got another flavor of Quest. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I usually like to put in the requests, like I always, even though I do that every time, it like doesn't matter. It doesn't matter half the time. I put in the request, like if they don't have this, get this. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. The Quest spicy cheddar crackers, those are pretty good. Ali Drex, the spicy cheddar crackers. I tried. They're almost like Cheez-Its. They're like spicy little Cheez-Its. I tried them at Walmart. I think I got them at Walmart, 4-pack for maybe like $12 or something. Was not expensive at all. So, yeah, let's see if there's any news here. I do believe that there's quite a bit of news. Billie Eilish. Did anyone see the Grammys? I always get the Grammys and the Emmys mixed up. Grammys and Emmys. Anybody see the Grammys over the weekend? I was trying my best to watch some of it. There was definitely who's that guy who hosted? What's his name? I think I have a video of him here. Here we go. Here he is. Trevor Noah is his name. We could play this video. He's a joke guy, I think. But I don't know if he's a stand-up comedian. Like I said, if anybody knows, is Trevor Noah a stand-up comedian, or is he just like positioned as a funny guy?
Welcome back to the Grammys. Potato. If you had me saying potato on Polymarket, you just made a ton of money. So congratulations, Noah_22, whoever that is. Welcome back to the Grammys. Potato.
Potato. That is Trevor Noah. That's a joke from. That was a joke from the Grammys. That was a joke from Trevor Noah. He says potato, and then he says potato, and then he's insinuating he bet on himself that he was gonna say potato. So yeah, really funny joke. Or maybe it was supposed to be. I'm not exactly sure. But like I said, if anybody knows in the chat if he's a comedian, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he was a comedian or just a night show guy. Night show, is that the right word? So yeah, that was Trevor Noah at the Grammys. Really, really high-level comedy from Trevor Noah. Let's check out here the Bill Eilish story. So Bill Eilish.
No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry.
They muted that out. She said F-ICE. F-ICE. It was funny. The moment I saw that, because me and Meg were watching it live, and I was like, wow, she's so brave. She's so brave. Very courageous of her to speak up. Native tribe whose land Billie Eilish's mansion sits on says she has not reached out to them after her stolen land comments. Tongva tribe says, we do understand that her home is situated in our ancestral land. Eilish has not contacted our tribe directly regarding her property. And I do believe right here, you guys can see here, this is a law firm in Los Angeles for immediate release. Sinai Law Firm is offering to evict Billie Eilish from her Los Angeles home on a pro bono basis on behalf of the Tongva tribe, premier eviction firm in the county. Obviously, this was a joke. But it just kind of goes to show you, Billie Eilish says, what'd she say? There's no one illegal on stolen land. No one illegal on stolen land. So one would have to assume that she would have like an open door policy at her house or at her estate, if you want to say. If no one's illegal, like I'm sure everyone's allowed into her house. So it looks like this guy went there.
We are here because this is stolen land, Billie, and we think we should be given access to your... Let us in, please, Billie. We are here because this is stolen land, Billie, and we think we should be given access to your quite lovely $3 million mansion. Hello, Ben Leo from The Late Show Live on GB News. Do you remember when Billie Eilish said this at the Grammys?
No one is illegal on stolen land. Nice is all I want to say, sorry.
Well, Billie reckons there's no such thing as an illegal human because we're all on stolen land. So we're here in Billie's quite posh neighbourhood in Los Angeles. Let's go and see if she practiced what she preaches. Hopefully, if she sticks by her merits, she'll have no problem with me waltzing in, maybe making a cup of coffee or a tea. $3 million home. She's got some paddocks out the back with stables and horses. Maybe we can go for a horse ride. I'm sure she'd have no problem with it because she stood up on the stage at the Grammys, tens of thousands of people watching in the audience, millions around the world. The clip's gone viral. Here we go. Oh, nice little place. Bins are out. It's bin collection day. First of all, isn't that ironic? Massive gates keeping people out. I thought Billie didn't believe in borders. Well, according to the driveway, Billie does believe in borders. She believes in massive gates keeping people out. A couple of cameras up there as well. The lights are on, so somebody must be home. Let us in, please, Billie. We are here because this is stolen land, Billie.
So obviously these are jokes being made. Billie Eilish says no one is illegal on stolen land. So people are obviously, pointing out how dumb that statement actually is. And yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like, you can say F ICE, but when you say no one is illegal on stolen land, well, hold on a second now, like, yeah, it's just the rhetoric, it's the typical rhetoric that we hear. It turns out that, she has these big gates at her home, and she doesn't just allow anyone into her home, probably because it would be illegal. So the joke is, it's a bit hypocritical, if in case people were wondering what the joke with all that was and why people are making fun of Billie Eilish. That's the reason, is because, like I said, you can say certain things and have an impact and make a difference in this world, or you can repeat talking points that you have zero concept of understanding and just sound like a complete and utter idiot. And like, the internet will do its thing. The internet will in fact make fun of you for sounding like an idiot. If she had just said F ICE, she would have been totally fine. But when you say no one is illegal on stolen land, it's like, well, that's not really a real thing. That's not a real thing. So yeah, we covered Billie Eilish here. We covered the Grammys or Emmys, whatever those stupid award shows are. The award shows are always dumb, dude. I enjoy watching them sometimes because they're funny and there are some decent performances sometimes. But what was up with like half the people dressing? It was like a contest of who could wear the least amount of clothing while still wearing clothes. Someone was just wearing like beads. It was like a couple beads over their nipples. I was like, what is this? So this video right here, into other news, a couple weeks ago I made jokes and told you guys, hey, if you're out there protesting against ICE, get your bag. Don't be a dummy and be doing this shit for free, because there's people who are out there protesting ICE getting paid money. And those are your two options, right? You either stand up for what you believe in and you're protesting and you're getting paid $0, or you stand up for what you believe in and you're getting paid money. There's clear winners and losers here. Do not be a loser. Get your bag, get your money. I told you guys this was happening weeks ago. Anybody with any IQ points can look at the anti-ICE protests and be like, okay, obviously this is a paid organization. Of course there's going to be organic additions to this. Of course you're going to convince, is a very nice word to use. Of course, you're going to be able to convince others to go along with this and join in on it. But if you're not getting paid money for it, if you're not getting paid money for your protesting, you're being used as a pawn. They're using you as a peasant pawn if you're not getting paid money for these protests. So get your money. Here's a video from Nate Friedman. Let's take a look at this one.
I'm a journalist, and I'm wondering if there's someone I can speak to. Is there someone that I can speak to?
Yeah, I think they might be like on the other side of the park, actually.
No.
Yeah.
They said you would be here.
Oh no, but other side of the park's actually.
Why are you so upset? Why are you so angry?
I was angry right here.
What?
You
seem like really jittery, like upset.
Oh, you're just annoying, that's all.
Oh, why am I annoying? Alright, well, I have to go for a stand here. Meet Naftali Aaron-Kranz. He's a paid protester through and through. Here's him posting on LinkedIn to hire paid protesters for the company he works for called Get Free. Listen to this. Get Free is hiring for part-time mobilization support contractor. That just means paid protester. We're seeking out people with 4+ years of experience in leading direct action and large-scale mobilizations, demonstrations, protests, and civil disobedience, which just means experience getting arrested. Compensation is $3,500 to $4,200 a month for an average of 20 hours a week. Get Free on their website calls themselves a grassroots organization, when Naftali and others are literally being paid to protest. Get Free wants to, quote, undo white supremacy. Naftali thinks one of the best ways to do that is to celebrate vandalism, saying Crown Heights stay winning after someone threw an egg at a stranger's Cybertruck and placed dog feces on it. Here's Naftali at an Abolish the Police rally. You can see he's not leading the protest, just blending in amongst the other recruits. He can get his photo op later because the way this works is combining all the leftist causes together to make the individual causes look bigger than they are. And of course he works with a DSA, which is why I ran into him at this DSA Tax the Rich rally. On LinkedIn, you can see Naftali frequently doing his paid protester posts saying, come work with and help us expand our effort to win reparations across the country. And Naftali is recruiting nationwide in Chicago, the Bay Area, and Baltimore. Pod organizers he's hiring for are tasked with building small, localized teams. In other words, protesters that can be deployed on demand. Now let's see what happens when we click on one of these links attached. It's a 9-week contract, part-time, paying $3,400 in stipends, issued bi-weekly, and they're looking for someone excited about experimentation and will recruit people and train them to drive turnout to events. Now, Naftali is part of Jews Against Trump and urges people to donate to bail funds to, quote, bail immigrants out of concentration camps. A Jewish person that calls an immigration detention center a concentration camp has a serious mental illness, and it's colleges like NYU where he went, the Democrat Party, and the mainstream media who are guilty of this brainwashing. We see Nicole Cardi at the top of the Get Free movement. She says the George Floyd protests were the reason Biden won the 2020 election. Share this with anyone who is trying to make the argument that morality, civil rights, and social justice have no place in electoral politics. It's the opposite. Now we can see that these protest NGO groups are about one thing: getting Democrats elected. So it's only fitting that donations to Get Free are funneled through Act Blue, who is under investigation by the Department of Justice for foreign contributions. Act Blue has funneled billions of dollars for activist groups like Indivisible Twin Cities, who is orchestrating the resistance on ICE agents in Minneapolis. Indivisible has been caught paying protesters, and they've received over $7.6 million from the Open Society Foundation, funded by George Soros.
So, like I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, a lot of these protesters are being paid money by groups such George Soros. Some people think that this is like a conspiracy theory. It's like anyone who has any IQ points can look at these protests and be like, this is organized. Clearly, there's certain people being paid from this. It's obvious. If you think that these ICE protests are, or any of these large protests that are at scale that you see on the mainstream media, if you think that they're all real, actual people that are just there, they just just my day off. It's like, no, a lot of them are being paid. And the ones who aren't being paid, why are you not getting paid? That would piss me off, dude. If I was one of the people who was protesting and I was like chanting and shit out in the freezing cold, and I found out that like the dude next to me is getting paid $4,000 a week or whatever to be doing the same shit that I'm doing, I would be pissed off, man. I would 100% be pissed off. So, like I said, I told you guys that this was happening. There's more evidence that we just saw that this is still, in fact, happening. And let's check out here. We have Insurrectionists. This is by Cam Higbee. Cam Higbee. So here we have tactics for fighting ICE. Let's check this out. I'll just read the highlighted sections here. Our goals when following ICE. So these people are not only being paid to terrorize ICE, but they also have groups where they have goals and they have organization, including the license plate of federal agents so that they can follow and harass them. So our goals when following ICE are to throw ICE off their course, waste their time, and force them to drive away. That's number one. Number two, alert at-risk people to ICE presence. How do you alert at-risk people? Is that how do you identify an at-risk person? Is it like by the color of their skin or something? Number three, make the whole neighborhood aware of ICE presence to get them outside and resisting. Number four, escalate at ICE abductions and create potential flashpoints. Flashpoints. Any tips for thinking strategically during a potential flashpoint? Number two on this list, determine the goal. Is the goal to stop an abduction, de-arrest someone / multiple individuals, create a blockade to prevent ops from coming or going, push back on the creation of a boundary or something else? Consider what it will take to accomplish the chosen goal and whether the rest of your present AG is on board with said goal. Is it achievable based on who is present? Flashpoints are specific times and places where a crisis quickly and dramatically escalates. When we say flashpoint, we mean any time and place where masses of people are directly confronting the armed force of the state. There are several places across the Twin Cities metro that already have or could in the future escalate into larger, more sustained confrontations. Another murder, a prolonged and escalating abduction attempt, fascist civilians escalating violently, or mass protests that spill out into an escalated confrontation with the state are all potential situations that could lead to flashpoints. Remember, they want this. They want flashpoints. These possibilities are dangerous, but they are also sites at which we can escalate our resistance and inspire people into taking more militant, organized action. We need to be prepared for these moments. We need to keep each other safe, and we need to be able to escalate when it's strategic. These people are nuts, dude. Genuinely, this is one of the crazier things that I've read. It's no surprise that these people are organizing in the signal groups. I believe that's where Cam Higbee found this document, was in the signal groups. It's where these people are communicating with each other and whatnot. It's really strange. It's really strange. And like I said, it's not organic. Like there are people who are like the unfortunate people who were murdered by ICE were most likely part of these escalation groups. Some people can see them as terrorist groups, as their goal is to terrorize federal agents. They were most likely part of these groups. And potentially, we don't know, but there's potential that either Renee Good or Alex Preddy, again, we don't know, but there potentially could have been compensation involved. We know for a fact that there are people being compensated for their actions in these anti-ICE protests. These potentially were, again, very unfortunate, horrible situation. They were murdered by ICE, but they were potentially being paid to be there and ended up losing their life because of incompetence on both sides. This right here is another woman who will listen. We're going to listen to her story. Her name is Miss Aaliyah Rahman. On January 13th, she says, on the way to her 39th appointment at the Traumatic Brain Injury Center, I encountered a traffic jam caused by ICE vehicles and no signs indicating how to get around it. I had not wanted to pull into a block to chaotic intersection, but verbally agreed to do so and rolled down my window after an agent yelled, "Move, I will break your effing window." She yells, I'm disabled. Listen, if you're so disabled to the point to where she was saying how she was so disabled she couldn't drive her car, why are you driving the car in the first place, dude? Why wouldn't you catch an Uber? So let's listen to what she has to say. And then we'll watch the video of what actually happened. But let's listen to her story first, because it's very interesting to see the stark differences between her story and what actually happened that day. So let's roll the clip here. Midas touch.
I'm a Bangladeshi American, born in northern Wisconsin, and I'm a disabled person with autism and a traumatic brain injury. Not all autistic brains do this, but mine fixates on sounds, numbers, and patterns.
Hers fixates on the sounds. I'm sure those blaring whistles from the anti-ICE protesters were probably a real problem for her. It was probably giving her a huge headache. If I had to, it gives me a headache. Maybe we have the same type of brain, dude. Who knows?
And while what the world saw happen to me exactly 3 weeks ago today on video was a terrible violation, it is still nothing compared to the horrific practices I saw inside the Whipple Center. So I am here today with a duty to the people who have not had the privilege of coming home, and I offer this data because these practices must end now. On January 13th, on the way to my 39th appointment at Hennepin County's Traumatic Brain Injury Center, I encountered a traffic jam caused by ICE vehicles and no signs indicating how to get around it. I had not wanted to pull into a blocked, chaotic intersection, but verbally agreed to do so and rolled down my window after an agent yelled, "Move! I will break your effing window!" His first instruction. Agents on all sides of my vehicle yelled conflicting threats and instructions that I could not process while watching for pedestrians. Then the glass of the passenger side window flew across my face. I yelled, "I'm disabled," at the hands grabbing at me, and an agent said, "Too late." I felt immersed in a pattern, and I thought of Genoa Donald, an autistic black man killed by police during a traffic stop in 2021. I remembered Mr. Sliberio Gonzalez, who was killed by ICE in his vehicle last year. An agent pulled a large combat knife in front of my face, which I thought was for cutting me, and later learned was used to cut off my seatbelt. Shooting pain went through my head, neck, and wrists when I hit the ground face first and people leaned on my back. I felt the pattern, and I thought of Mr. George Floyd, who was killed 4 blocks away. I was carried face down through the street by my cuffed arms and legs while yelling that I had a brain injury and was disabled. I now cannot lift my arms normally. I was never asked for ID, never told I was under arrest, never read my rights, and never charged with a crime. Approaching the Whipple Center, I saw black and brown bodies shackled together, chained together, being marched by yelling agents outdoors. I continue to hear the word bodies because that is how agents refer to us.
All right, so that was Miss Aaliyah Rahman, who is quite the storyteller. Quite the storyteller, I will say that. The George Floyd comparison is an interesting one, said Christy. Yes, so we're going to play the actual video of what actually happened that day, and we'll see what happened here. Because it sounds like, to me, based on her story, right? Based on her story, I'm picturing and I'm envisioning this poor disabled woman driving to her, 39th appointment for traumatic brain injury or something. And she's driving along, and then she gets stopped by ICE agents, and they violently rip her out of her vehicle with nothing. That's what it sounds like. And then George Floyd made her way into the story somehow. Maybe they were leaning on her neck or something. I don't know where she got George Floyd from, but we're gonna play the clip here to show what actually happened that day. So from my view, and I'm gonna play this video here in a second. From my view here, it appears like she is yelling at the ICE agents and not driving her vehicle down a road that is completely clear in front of her. It seems as though she is refusing to drive her vehicle, but we're going to check out and see what you guys think. Let's play the video.
Take the fucking class. Sidewalk. You can film on the sidewalk. Force is not law. Force is not law. You are not following the law.
Police before I'm disabled, trying to go to the doctor up there. That's why I didn't move.
Does this make you feel strong? Yeah, man. This is your duty. Why don't you help that woman? Help that woman! Why don't you help someone? All you do is hurt! All you do is hurt! She's trying to drive down the fucking bridge! Where is the law? Pull up the way! Let her go!
Dude, there was no George Floyd moment in that. I didn't watch all the way till the end when I first watched that video. I was legitimately waiting for the police to sit on her or something. So I don't know where the hell she got George Floyd from. But we're gonna play this video, and I'm gonna look. All right. So she's driving right now. Let's look at the look on her face. Look at that, dude. Look at that chin. She is so angry. She is so angry. And she has the freedom to just drive away. To just continue to her, what'd she call it? 39th traumatic brain appointment. I hope she made it to her 39th. And I hope she makes it to her 40th and her 41st and her 42nd. But look at that chin, dude. That's like a mother trucker. That's a mother trucker type of look right there on her face. So I'm going to play this here, and you're going to be like, how did she not just drive away? Let's take a look here. This old thing is across the street already. About to be walking on the sidewalk. There's clearly more than enough room for this woman to drive her vehicle away from the entire situation. And as she claims, she says, I was just trying to go to my... Why is that always the thing? I was just dropping my kids off at the daycare and just doing a 3-point turn. I was just being a nurse. I was just being a nurse helping veterans. What do you mean? And now we have this woman. I was just going to my 39th annual brain trauma appointment. What do you mean, dude? Why wouldn't you just drive there then? If that was truly your goal, why wouldn't you just drive there? Because she could. And she's not. Which begs the question, what was she actually doing there? There's nobody in the road in front of her. She's impeding traffic. The ICE agents are telling her, drive, get out of here.
Hey!
This ICE agent here telling her, drive, get out of here.
Hey, back the fuck up! Sidewalk, 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 sidewalk. You can film on the sidewalk.
She's still just blocking shit, dude.
Force is not law! Force is not law! You are not following the law!
And then they get aggressive with her. And then the ICE agents get aggressive with her. Because clearly, she has issues, dude. This woman clearly has issues with not... Again, supposedly she was just going to her doctor's appointment. There's a road clear in front of her, and she makes the decision to stick around and fuck around and find out. I don't know why she was there. Because looking at that video, it doesn't seem like she was actually trying to drive anywhere. Or else she would have just drove her car. Michael Hartson, how you doing today? Michael said intentionally creates issue and then she wonders why. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Like that was a clear-cut indication. That was a clear-cut situation where you have the clear road in front of you. ICE agents are telling you to leave, drive that way, and she puts her car in park or whatever. And alrighty, you know. And then she tells a sob story about George Floyd. They treated me like George Floyd. No, they didn't. They didn't step on your neck. That's crazy. One of the biggest things in news happening is there are people who are really against voter ID. And for the life of me, I've been trying to study this topic for like almost 8 years. It's one of the things that got me interested in politics, actually, because when you think about voter ID, it seems like an obvious, yeah, no shit type of thing, where it's like, do we want safe, like legitimate elections, or do we want to let people vote who don't have an ID? It's like, well, how about you get an ID to drive a vehicle? So having an ID to vote would probably be a good idea too. It'd probably be the easiest, lowest bar that you can set to prevent voter fraud. And there's some people that are really against that. It's Democrats in office. Mind-blowing, mind-boggling. They're saying their argument is that it prevents like black people from voting. And it's like, what? Todd O said, don't be too rational. LOL. So it prevents black people from... Why does it prevent black people from voting? That doesn't make any sense to me. And we're gonna watch a video here from CNN. The majority of Americans want this.
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it. 82% of Latino. 76% of black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
So something of a not...
Take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people...
So yes, as told by CNN, it's a very bipartisan thing. I think that's the right word. It's a very like mutually agreed upon thing that we should have an ID to vote. Todd O said that's such a psyop that's being used against black people that they don't know how to get IDs. It's ridiculous. That's kind of how I saw it too. I saw it as like very disrespectful to African American folk. They can't get an ID to vote. Like, what do you mean? Do they not like know how to get what are you saying? What are you saying when you say that? Very, very, very strange. And to me, because let's use our brain here and be truthful and honest. Listen, if you have millions of illegals coming into your country and the Democrats say, we're going to protect you, but you have to vote for us, who do you think the illegals would vote for? And I don't think it takes much brain power to figure this one out. I don't think it's too hard to put 2 and 2 together here. And people are like, oh, well, how can illegals vote? Well, in California, it's illegal to show an ID to vote. If you try to pull out your ID when you go to vote in California, it's illegal to show ID. They don't want it, dude. They don't want to see any IDs when you're voting in California. So obviously the Democrats would be super against having a voter ID because if voter ID was required, they would lose all the votes from the illegals. They would lose all those votes from the illegals if voter ID was mandated, which it should be, because it's real. Again, if you need an ID to drive a vehicle, you should need an ID to vote for the United States president. It's a very common sense thing. And like I said, we showed that clip from CNN showing, and it's wild how they're like, oh, this percentage of white people want it. This percentage of black people want it. It's like, dude, why are you even separating like that? You can just say, you know, and going back to what Todd O said, CNN made it a partisan thing when they say, oh, black people don't want this. That's why they had to separate it out by saying, oh, black people do actually want this. It's like, yeah, black people want it, dude. It was CNN who was telling people that black people didn't want it because they said black people can't get the IDs for whatever insane reason. Again, racist, dude. That's a racist take for sure. Black people can't get voter IDs. It'd be like saying we shouldn't allow driver's licenses because black people can't get them. Crazy thing to say, dude. Man. So I think that might be, oh, there's one more clip here from Mamdani. Zoran Mamdani in New York City. There was somebody who was shot by a cop. There was a cop shows up to it looks like a house, I believe. And it's a small clip. So we don't know exactly the full context of this situation. But a cop shows up to a house and a guy comes at him with a knife. And Zoran and the guy ended up getting shot by the cop because the guy came at the cop with a knife. And Zoran Mamdani says his heart is with the man who got shot. So let's check out this clip real quick.
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family should have to endure this kind of pain.
Baba, no! Hey, put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
And as you said, I spoke with the Chakraborty family and I visited Chavez in the hospital. And there is no family.
So like I said, very small clip. We don't know the full context of this, but it does appear that the cop tried to do everything in his ability to try to avoid shooting the guy. You know, how many times are you going to tell the guy, hey, put the knife down, put the knife down? The guy walks outside and closes the door. Like, hey, stay in there. You know, put the knife down. The guy continues to open the door. You know. And then Zoran Mamdani goes and says that his heart is with the family guy who got shot. It's a messed up situation, dude. It's not going to make police feel very welcomed, I would assume, in New York City. It's sad. It is sad. I think that Zoran Mamdani wanted a social worker who was unarmed to be at that type of situation, which probably would have led to an even worse situation. If I would assume, you know, if that cop wasn't armed, I mean, we could have seen something even more tragic than what happened. I don't believe the guy died. Let me make sure on that. It's only been like a month or so. Zoran Mamdani's been in office in New York City as mayor, and it doesn't really seem like things are going well. There's been multiple people who have died in the streets. There's trash piling up all over the sidewalks. It's not going well. Doesn't seem to be going well in New York City. There was one other thing. Yes, this little Epstein thing. There were actually fake Epstein files. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'll show you guys right now. So, here's the link to it. Let me just... Okay, so here we go. Here's the Epstein file. This is, again, justice.gov. Okay? This is my website that I'm on right now. This is in the Epstein files. Okay? Here we have Post Malone, Dan Bilzerian. Post Malone is a musical artist, if you didn't know. Dan Bilzerian is a Instagram playboy, you can say. And this was in the Epstein files. So you look at this and you're like, well, what's going on here? Like, why is there black boxes? What's going on? Were they at Epstein's Island? Because here's the thing. Everything in the Epstein files, you're assuming. I was assuming everything in the Epstein files was going to be, you know, legitimate. I thought maybe, by chance, our government would tell us the truth, but that's not the case. That's not the case here. So let's go back to this. This right here, this is in the Epstein files. And, let me get the actual photo. Here's the actual photo that was posted to Dan Bilzerian's. This was literally posted to Dan Bilzerian's Facebook. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Look, dude. Dan Bilzerian posted this photo on his Facebook page with the girls. These aren't like underage girls. I don't know why this was in the Epstein files. It's very strange why this was in the Epstein files. It seems like they positioned it as if it was like incriminating to Post Malone and Dan Bilzerian. That's what it seemed like. The first thought you have is like, was this at Epstein's Island? Wait a second. Are those underage girls? Is this Post Malone and Dan Bilzerian with underage girls at Epstein Island? And then you realize, oh, no. Why would Dan Bilzerian post that on his Facebook? That would make no sense. So this begs the question, what was this doing in the Epstein files? Michael Hartson said, fake posted by DOJ. Curious, as I haven't heard of that before. Yeah, this is in the legitimate DOJ. I actually checked this one out because, you see everything on Twitter and you're like, okay, half this shit's bullshit. Let me see what's actually true. Let me see what's actually real. And yeah, no, I did some digging on it and it's like, why would this be in the Epstein files? So once you work through that and you're like, well, what are they, just grabbing random images off Google? Or was this a photo that Jeffrey had like screenshotted on his personal laptop? First of all, we don't have any information on where any of these photos or videos are coming from, or emails. There's all these emails, dude. Who wrote the emails? We assume that it was Jeffrey Epstein, but I assumed here that this was a photo that Jeffrey Epstein took. It doesn't appear to be that. It appears just to be a random photo from online. What's up, Dave? How you doing today? Happy Wednesday, February 4th. Mackenzie, you okay over there, buddy? She has she is snoozing. She is taking a snooze. She ate a lot of food today. Not a lot of food, but good amount. We did a couple reviews. So Michael Hartson said, Def calls into question other posts now for sure. Yeah, and the majority of people who are looking into this Jeffrey Epstein files, like I said, I said this on the last show on Friday. There's nothing really new that came from this batch of 3 million 3 million Epstein files. Nothing really insane has come out about it besides the Bill Gates describing his wiener looking like a pepperoni pizza. That's the craziest thing. But again, is any of this shit real, dude? What's going to come of the Epstein files? Who's going to get arrested? Who's going to jail? What's actually going to happen? Who's going to face repercussions? Nobody. Nothing will happen. The Clintons, aren't they in court or going to have to go to court for the Epstein file? Nothing's going to happen. No one will pay the price. And that's just facts. Well, technically, it's my opinion. So yeah, I don't think anything's going to come up of that Jeffrey Epstein situation. They can release as many files as they want. They call them files. In reality, it's a photo of Dan Bilzerian sitting next to two chicks with Post Malone. Yeah, thanks for the Epstein files, DOJ. You guys are killing it. You guys are doing a bang-up job. I've never seen that photo before. How'd you guys uncover that? Wow. Interesting. This is why I said on Friday, there's ain't shit. These Epstein files are nothing. It's a big old nothing burger, and it always will be. The people who control the world will continue to control the world, in my opinion. Oh, this was the only other photo here from the Epstein files. We can check this out. I'll show you guys this one real quick. And then we'll wrap things up. So this one, Roger Schenk from Jeffrey Epstein. This is the way Jew make money and made a fortune in the past 10 years selling short the shipping futures. Let the Goyim deal in the real world. And then you guys can pause and read the rest if you choose to do so. But the highlighted portion here is Goyim. And that's the term that not all, but some Jewish folk call non-Jewish folk Goyim, you know. So there's that, I guess. But again, is this even real? Is this email even real? Who wrote this email? What are we to believe, dude? Let the Goyim deal in the real world. I want to be a Goyim, dude. I think I'm a Goyim in the real world. Just trying to do my best, you know? Just your average Goyim. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, so I think we're going to wrap this one up. I had so much fun yapping and shit. So thank you guys and ladies for being here. I have a couple great reviews coming. Marco's Pizza, K Onda Mexican and Tequila. Those videos are coming this week. So I will be live Friday. Today's Wednesday. Megan is sick right now. I think she's still working. But I hope I don't get sick. So if I do get sick, I'll give you guys an update, but I'm planning on going live Friday. So we'll catch you guys back here Friday, right around noon 30. Right around noon 30, maybe 1 o'clock. I might have to do a couple food reviews beforehand. I'll keep you guys updated. So I'm going to sign off for now. Mackenzie, you want to say goodbye to everyone? Oh, goodbye. I'm going to give her one last little piece of pizza after we sign off here. Thank you so much for watching. Michael Hartson says, sounds good. Can't please everyone. Unfortunately, have a good one. Yep. Can't please everyone, dude. But hey, as long as I'm happy, right? I'm kidding. All right, guys. Everyone have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you on Friday. Peace out. Christy, Michael Hartson, Dave, Todd O. I'm going to forget about that other person. Go Ins TV, Steve Loaka, Ali Drex, Ravioli, Bidia Maroof, Shane Cool Jeans. I love y'all. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Peace.